person that took this position has more tenure than the person that was in it.
Why was it published more than your request? You requested 81,720.
I think we did some updates at the last meeting, didn't we?
Yeah,
We
we
went
did.
through and
Yeah.
updated.
Is that the update from that? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted an explanation as to where it came from. Thank you. I assume that was the case, but I'm going to make sure we understood.
So you have 8163 there?
86,970.
Which one was I on?
That is 11517.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was too far. 86,970, yeah.
Thank you.
And then 70,755, 42,311,
42,311.
yes, 42,311, 80,328, 58,473, 2,000, 39,261, 45,617, 43,502, 17,000, 7,800, 20,400, 2,700, 2,700, and then zero.
1,008,534.
Okay, thank you.
Say it's just another million.
I did have a question on David's. I just wanna, well, you know what, you need to look at these to make sure we get the longevity right on this, okay, I believe that they're correct. So I didn't change anything from what was advertised, so,
The longevity on the people on the maintenance.
I didn't change anything from what we advertised, the last time we looked at your budget, so everybody will get an opportunity to look at these budgets to make sure they're.
This is the point, so you guys have a chance to look at the sort of best guess here before October.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I was thinking too, I made comments about reducing, increases, the recorder, employees are underneath a different fund as well. That needs to be, the same as what it was. Let's see, I don't know, I made the one change in the treasurer's office, so if you can go to the treasurer's office, we can just update that online.
Jody, are we allowed to change the clerk's budget?
Not the clerk.
Didn't you just say the clerk's employees were in their budget? Recorder. Okay. Are we allowed to change the recorders? I thought that one was a special one that.
Well, they're paid out of the perpetuation fund, but she decides whether or not she gives increases, and I think that we need to be fair across the board, and there should be no increases this year, and then they can do the same thing in those funds as what we're doing.
I don't think we could do that. I think, yeah, I don't know that we can.
She'll adjust it out for us, I think, knowing if we don't end up giving it
So the
3%.
council has the sole authority to set compensation. So she still has to have your approval. She's allowed to use that recorder perpetuation fund for salaries, but she still has to have your approval of what it's going to be.
Sorry.
So the treasurer, it's line item, 3,200, communication and transportation. We had it at 36, he requested 37,800 because of postage. All right, I'm almost to the end, I'm to the end. So what do you have for your grand, wait a second, hold on.
We have a total?
For the treasurer. For Jasmine.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's, yeah, that's what I have.
439,009.
That's right. Were there any other?
I'm trying to get to it, hang on. I hate to do this on this. Okay, so what do you have as your grand total? At the bottom of the budget. It's at the top here.
See, nobody even knows how much money.
Nope.
Well, I'm
44
at,
million, sorry.
I'm at 44,839,540, which puts us in the hole 381,347. So you're lower than, what are you at?
44,787,866.
I don't know what else changed. Did you guys pull up the right ones? I didn't change anything else from what we advertised,
You
so
wanna go look at the totals and the
I'm
separate?
not sure where the difference is.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, but I think that's.
Starting at the
good.
bottom.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, hang
let's
on, I
just-
gotta go to the bottom.
Is that,
This is at the bottom names.
there's different file names. So it may be different.
Alright, so what do you have for the youth center?
Starting at the bottom.
No, I'm at the bottom. I'm sorry, are you at the top? I'll look at it.
No, I'm the one that
Look at
said,
that.
I thought she was in the bottom too.
There was.
1,822,107.
I know.
Weights and measures. 50,484.
Yep.
Voters registration, 154,770.
Yep.
Veterans, 107,785.
Yep.
Treasurer, 439,009.
Yep.
Surveyor, 194,112.
Yep.
Soil and water, 62,265.
Huh?
We have sheriff, 4,751,525.
That's the wrong, that's not in there. Okay, so we know there's an issue with the sheriff.
Yeah, it's 400,000 short for raises.
Where do you wanna start, Kara? At the top?
At the top of it.
I have to publish right here. Well, you took that out though, didn't you?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, she
That was
did
jail,
all
that
that.
was jail. That was jail.
Yeah, that wasn't sheriff.
Well, this is sheriff. but-
Hello.
She put all the names.
I didn't touch the sheriff's. Okay, so the first one, yeah, I just put but that's what we had, oh, maybe that's what the difference
No,
is. Yeah, I think I
you
know where it
did
is.
double, so just go through the green.
Okay, so the elected official is the same, 165, 161. The next one is 57, 155,
Yes,
100,000,
yes.
80,000, 628, 70,808,
Okay,
59,355, 56, 655,
okay,
71, 608,
okay,
58, 875,
okay,
57, 155,
okay,
46, 805,
okay,
46, 430,
okay,
67, 395,
okay,
70,408,
okay,
66,382,
okay.
67, 795,
795,
yes ma'am,
okay,
57,155,
okay,
60,755,
okay,
71,408,
okay,
57,155,
okay,
66, 395,
okay,
61, 155,
okay.
0.
Yep.
56, 655,
56, 655,
yes ma'am.
okay,
57, 355,
okay,
63, 382,
okay,
60,555,
okay,
57,955.
Okay,
63,982.
okay,
60,955.
okay,
61,755.
okay,
61,955.
okay.
57,555.
57,000?
Yes, ma'am, 555.
Okay,
57,355.
okay,
56,955.
okay.
56,955. And then another no, sorry. The next one is 59,555.
Okay,
61,555.
okay,
60,955.
okay.
61,755. 57,355. 59,155. 57,955. 57,755. 57,755. 57,355.
Okay,
00.
yes,
47,544.
okay,
45,625.
okay,
56,955.
okay.
Oh.
Do a total. And look at your bottom number.
I have 4,748,800.
Nope. All right, so
Why would you stop in the
we were
middle of that?
on line,
Can we go back to 14700?
okay? Okay, make sure I'm on the same line.
42,475.
42,475 is that line. 45,100. 0. 50,875. 13,915. 200.
Yes,
31,200. 31,200.
okay,
20, is it next to our zeros?
yes,
6,150.
yes,
65,000.
okay,
2,400.
okay,
16,800. 960. 10,800. 14,400. 3,600. 9,600. 1,200. 2,400. 5,000. 325,000. 50,245. 4,500. 10,000. 10,919. 260,000. 1,082. 90,000. 32,000. 2,751. 100,000. 210,000. 27,095. 0. And then 100,000.
4,785,388.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, the next one above that. Security? Yeah.
109,972.
Yep.
Recorder, 65,191.
Yep.
Public defenders, 1,896,288.
Yep.
Prosecutor 47,15,959.
Yep.
Prosecutors, 2,101,720.
Yes.
That's where all your money's going. It's all going to the prosecutor's office.
Prosecutor victim advocate, 50,825.
Yes.
Reassessment, 0.
Yep.
Problem solving court, 443,467.
Yes.
Planning commission, 311,890.
Yes.
Mental health, 908,558.
Yes.
Correctional facility, we have 2,014,065.
No. I have a question while we're just before we do that. Mental health, Todd, so we take that off the top of the levy.
It's added on top of the levy. So
whatever your budget
Oh, it's
there.
added in, okay,
Yeah.
I thought this was corrected, okay, never mind. You wanna just start at the bottom, Carol?
It's
Yes.
$150
Okay, so the bottom line is 15,000, 5,656, 12,700, 5,000, 85,000, 2,163, 7,500, 225,000, 1,456, 0. 80,000, 5,000, 15,000, $525. Next two lines are 0, 5,200, 0, 3,000, 300,000. Somebody else? Okay, 46,180, 47,055,
47,055. Okay.
46,180,
Okay.
46,555,
Okay.
46,430,
Okay.
46,180,
Okay.
49,239,
Okay.
46,680, 48,989,
No, it's 46,680.
yes,
Okay.
48,989,
Okay.
46,305,
Okay.
42,000,
Yes.
nothing in the next line.
Yes.
51,239,
Okay.
nothing in the next line.
Okay.
46,680,
Okay.
the next two lines are blank.
Okay.
48,199,
Okay.
blank, the next line.
Okay.
46,180,
Yes.
and then the next four lines are blank.
Yes.
46,500,
Yes.
46,500, 0.
Yes.
46,305,
Yes.
12,358, 11, sorry, 12,358, 11,608, 8,874, 46,180, 52,934, and then you go up to shift supervisor, which is 11407, and that was 51,434, and then 0,
Yes.
53,184, 48,719, 41,424, 0,
Yes.
11,608,
Okay.
8,874, 0,
Yes.
58,147,
Yes.
and 0.
Yes.
So you have,
2,013,940.
perfect.
Thank you.
Next, juvenile probation, 1,008,534.
Yep.
Next, we have the jail, 4,376,188.
Yes.
Next, we have IT, 1,131,190.
Yes.
Human resources, 84,501.
Yes.
Emergency management, 196,680.
Yes.
Election board, 774,783.
Yes.
Train board, 94,800.
Yes.
Courthouse, 1,658,768. Bottom of that,
Yep.
okay,
86,000,
okay,
10,000, 40,000, 150,000, 2,800, 210,000, 310,000, 10,000, 300, 10,000, 45,000,
yes,
35,000, 1,500, 0, 6,000, 0, 5,000, 6,000,
yes,
9,150,
yes,
6,000,
yes,
10,400,
yes,
19,638,
yes,
0, 0,
yes, yes,
39,360,
yes,
36,224,
yes,
42,169, 30,471,
Yes.
36,224,
Yes.
49,204, sorry, 49,206,
Okay.
38,849,
Yes.
30,471,
Yes.
32,089,
Yes.
31,314, 30,471,
Yes.
30,471,
Yes.
38,849,
38,849, and that was line 11406?
yes ma'am,
Okay.
38,480,
Yes.
then 0,
Yes.
46,163,
Yes.
and 65,000.
Yes. Total 1,630,768?
Yes ma'am.
Okay. We have council 334,312. Coroner 623,872.
No.
Bottom up.
You have, Jody.
I have 676,872.
That's what's published.
Okay, so then let me give you the number, I mean, I didn't change anything, so 8,000, 1,050,
Okay.
1,500, 3,500,
Okay.
500,
Okay.
7,000,
Okay.
450,000,
Yes.
0,
Yes.
12,000, 1,500,
Yes.
1,200,
Yes.
75,
Yes.
125,000,
Yes.
3 zeros,
Yes.
37,440,
Yes.
0,
Yes.
and 28,107.
Yes. 471,872.
What?
Or 671,872.
I'm like, how did we lose $200,000 there?
Sorry.
Yes.
No, that's not what you have,
It's
Jody.
still not the number.
What do you have? 676,872?
671,872.
We missed 5,000.
Okay, so,
Check your sub again.
Still 671?
all right, so at the bottom, again,
Yes.
8,000,
Yes.
1,050,
Yes.
1,500,
Yes.
3,500,
Yes.
500,
Yes.
7,000,
Yes.
450,000,
Yes.
0,
Yes.
12,000,
Yes.
1,500,
Yes.
1,200,
Yes.
$75,
Yes.
1,000,
There it is.
1,000,
125,000.
25,000.
125.
Yes.
Sorry.
Total?
676,872.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioners, 12,372,960.
960, 900.
960.
No, just
12,372,960.
Nope.
That's what I have too.
You have 960? All right, let me see if I forgot something.
Did I change the perf and FICA?
I did, maybe I didn't change it right. So, let me see.
Yours was off.
So the FICA's 1,735,591,
Yes.
and the FICA's 2,067,938, and the next one is 4,300,000.
Total's still off.
Yeah. I'm trying to see where else I would have maybe changed things. What do you have on the? Oh, I know what it is. So Council of Governments, they request, oh, that's what it is, I messed. They requested $60,000. We published $60,060. But I think that was a typo on their part. I do. I think it's supposed to be $60,060. Okay, so what do you have for total?
12,372,960.
Yeah.
Could you read that number one more time?
12,372,960. Ready for the next?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
one where I reduced the part-time, so you guys gotta make a decision about if you wanna reduce the part-time there or not. They asked for 30,000, I reduced it to 15.
As of July 17th, they spent $10,300. So if you doubled that, then you'd have 20,600. So was there a reason?
No, it was just my same thought process about part-time.
Oh, no, I meant, was there a reason that it was 30?
Did somebody have that instead?
That's what they had requested.
Right,
That's what the 25 budget was.
okay.
I can speak to that if you'd like to.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I'd love to keep it, but I understand. Every year, we don't know exactly how that's gonna be spent. Some years it's been bailiffs who have gone over their amount. That's changed. We do have some needs in Circuit 2 that we may next year need to put some part-time money to. But that's unknown this time, so if you take it, we may need to come back, but if we can, we'd like to have it. It is a way for us to kind of adjust our labor force as we go.
Do you see the present trend of using part-time changing? The present trend has been about 10,000 for half the year.
It has. Only if we feel like we do need to get some help in Circuit 2. And one of the ways we think we could do that is part-time. And we haven't made a definite decision on that. We do have a summer program for a legal intern that we do every year. It's kind of where we've been. Sure. If I have, my preference would be to take it out of 177 rather than part-time.
Per diem for
Per
sure.
diem.
Yeah, it's a number that we set that up actually, I think last year's budget, maybe the year before that, it was always generally 25,000 and we set it at 50.
Didn't that increase though, per diem?
The per diem did increase. But if they're looking at a way to make an adjustment to adjust budget numbers, that would be okay.
Would you rather take it from there versus taking it from the part-time?
If I had my, yes.
I think so. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
So if we reduce that, I reduced your part-time by 15,000. Could we reduce the dirt by 15?
You could. I mean, full disclosure, that's an amount that you budget that does vacillate in the year, depending on how many jurors we have. We set that.
36 out of 50.
Yeah. But that's just set as a number every year that we set in the budget. And of course, we get, that money comes out of the juror pay fund. So we pull that out every quarter and we move it into that line item to pay jurors. Or a split. If you want to take some out of that and some out of part-time. I can't guarantee that we're not gonna underspend in that fund next year, but it's possible.
You mean per diem?
No, in part-time.
Any thoughts?
I say just leave it as is.
Leave it as it is.
Or if we can reduce the part-time, maybe split the difference 20 to 25,000. Because it looks like that per diem is spent like every
Yeah.
year.
We set a budget number that we just kind of guess at that year, and a couple years ago, for the longest time, it was 25. We moved it to 50 just to make it what we thought was more accurate.
Well, it shows total expended in 2022, 101,000.
Yeah.
In 23, 124,000. And then in 24, almost 75,000.
Right.
And the per diem for jurors, I mean, you don't have any wiggle room, except for if you don't have a jury trial. that doesn't negate that you still might have to pay jury fees because they come in and then we can get into that. But anyways, so the part-time, I mean, if we reduce this to 20,000, I mean, this is something the county, as a whole, the county's going to have to look at their departments, and we are going to have to reduce our workforce as a whole. And I'm not talking just part-time, I'm talking about our full-time people. As they retire, we're gonna have to, this budget's gonna have to be reduced probably $2 million going forward, because we can't fund it with what's coming down the pipeline. So, that was just my thought about the part-time one.
You guys say whatever.
I think you know your department best. Where would you tell us where you think it would be best if you're willing to decrease?
Yeah. If we take the juror pay fund out of 177, then my preference would be part-time if you're gonna cut. It is the one that is, we can kind of help clean up at the end of the year when we know, sometimes we have something that we have to do at the end of the year, a project or something has to be done. We have one right now that's sitting there that I'm gonna come to you probably next month. In some ways, we've looked at our budget for 3 years, and we've kind of tried to look at what we're gonna spend plus what we know we have to replace or fix. And all of our budget has kind of been, in some ways, either saved, moved around, pulled back, almost like we're a mini county council within our own department, to try to have at the end of the year the ability to pay everything we need plus the things that we know we need to fix without coming back to ask for additional funds. And so we didn't do that last year, haven't done that yet this year. We've only done FP transfers. So that's kind of the balance we've been trying to do. If you need to cut it, you need to cut it, but we have worked to really make it such that we don't have to come back and ask for more.
Which we appreciate. Thoughts?
They'll say leave it.
Either? Okay. What's our number there?
Hold on.
That is the.
Did you put part-time?
986, 479?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Okay,
Circuit Court 6, 247, 335.
Yep.
Circuit Court 5, 197, 797.
Yes.
Circuit Court 4, 200,947.
Yes.
Circuit Court 3, 251,97.
Yes.
Circuit Court 2, 204, 655.
Yes.
Circuit Court 1, 248, 622.
Yes.
CASA 211, 223.
Yes.
Auditor 886, 298.
Yes.
And that's the top.
total?
What do you have what do you have?
44,854,604.
Yep, that's what I got. 864.
864
No,
what?
44,854,604. So that puts us over, just under 400,000. And that's where I suggest that we,
Okay,
I do have a few questions.
not change the letter, but change the percentage.
On the commissioner's budget, where central dispatch is,
Okay, yep, we're good, because it's, the rest of it that we have to pay is in the public safety fund. I double
Okay.
checked.
okay.
Well, we can't pay our
It's
sheriffs.
like 1.17 something, I think. I don't know the total number, it's like 1.17 something, and I made sure that the amount we have in the public safety plus that amount equals what we have.
See, they can find the money when they want to.
On the coroner's budget, you wanna look at that.
okay.
We decreased part-time there, and they rely heavily on part-time, don't they? Well, because, yeah, I know.
This is the numbers that I think
the elected coroner needs to start taking cases. They wouldn't have to rely on them so heavy.
He's getting there.
No, because I had a question mark there. Well, it said at 125,000, but it was 200,000 was requested. I don't have my
There was
Wasn't
Additional
that,
deputy,
wasn't that a compensation from the professional services fees?
Well, I'll skip ahead then. The next question I had was in the jail budget. When we're looking, there's some that we reduced there. Testing and schooling was reduced, operating supplies was reduced, utility services were reduced, food, medicine, machinery and equipment.
No. Food, I actually increased food by 50,000 because I moved it to public safety.
Okay, I didn't have that marked on this one.
Yep, and then medicine, I moved the medicine to public safety, I actually increased that back to what he asked for, which
Okay.
was 200,000. And what was your other question?
Testing and schooling was reduced from 5,000 to 1,869.
And that's what they had last year, so that's. What else?
Operating supplies was reduced from 130,000 to 123,753. And utilities was reduced from 320,000 to 287,000.
I increased it back up to 300.
Okay.
Looking at what was expended on, what was spent on operating supplies, they spent just right at 52. So multiplying that times 2, I'd say the 123 should be.
Alrighty. And then the next question I had was for MCCC, we reduced their part-time line. We were talking earlier about that being a 24-hour facility. It was requested at 324, 317, and we reduced that down to 300,000. I just want to make sure we have an accurate budget.
So,
That was based on expenditures in 2024 were 295, and half the year this year is at 144. Ended up with 200. I think that was the rationale.
Okay.
I didn't change anything, that was what was
Right, that was
advertised,
just
so
what was
that,
advertised.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's
and
what.
honestly, I don't remember that 314 number. 300 sounds more clear.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. So we're,
I think this is still MCCC on rentals. We reduced it, that one was requested 16,500 and we reduced it to 12,700. I'm assuming that's based on previous expenditures as well.
We just had a gross different rental increase on some of the equipment.
So that's what that 16,500 was based on, so that would be a more accurate.
Is what we did about $3,500 increase on rental contract.
And I think the thing that I really hope tonight was that we got, this is not our solid, this is not our final budget, but this is something that can go back to the departments and they need to really look at it and see once, and then they'll have an opportunity next month or prior to, if, that would be great to talk with us, about any concerns that they might have within their budget.
was just noticing we had about 5 line items we cut from his budget.
Are you talking about that?
The coroner, I was talking about the coroner.
I was pretty sure that Diana came in last time we
Yeah,
talked
those
about
were-
budget, you gave us numbers.
Those
Whatever
came
I
from
said
your
last
numbers.
time was right on it, but I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm still looking.
And that's what we
at
put in
said.
before we published it, so. I didn't touch that at all.
And the last, I think the last thing I have on the budget is as far as questions. On the sheriff's budget for operating supplies, and maybe this is all based on expenses. I just don't know if the sheriff's still here, if you want to talk about if these are accurate, like what you think the expenses, it would cover expenses for next year. But operating supplies, we reduced that by 16% from what was requested. Other supplies we reduced by 28%.
Hold on, let's start with.
Okay, sorry.
Which one was the first one you said?
Operating supplies, it was requested at,
What number is that?
22,000. It was requested 310,000, but we, have advertised 260,000, which is a 16% reduction.
10,000 increase from this year's budget. I think as part of the rationale, 2024 expenditure was right around 260. And where we are in terms of the rate of spending this year is right around that rate. So I think that was the rationale behind that.
What other line item?
Other supplies, we reduced that by about 28% from the requested budget. 125,000 was requested, 90,000 was advertised. And then communication and transport, we reduced it by 41% from what was requested. And I guess I just wanna know if what we have is gonna reflect what we
Well,
think expenditures.
Of course, I don't have my notes with me on our budget stuff. We do have, one of the things under that other supplies was, we had a sharp increase, I think it's even gonna be on this next council meeting for some of our requests or November. This postage, I mean, we're going through a couple $1,000s a month in postage out of the civil office. Here, out of all these new filings and things that are going on.
Is that the operating supply line?
Right, it might be the other supplies or.
Communication and
The other supplies line, is that where they would come from?
I-
24,000?
32, is that what it is?
Oh, from communication transport?
I mean, like Jody said, this is, I guess, we'll get it started and maybe take
Yeah,
a
once
closer
we
look.
you get the set back out to us, and I did send me a message, and we'll get back with our budget team and make sure that we're comfortable in those areas, as much as we can be, clearly.
Just know that part of your budget's in the public safety.
Right, what, food, or medicine?
Medicine. I thought there was one other one.
To Christie's point, the issue is just trying to create as realistic a budget as feasible. So also recognizing that we have a constraint in the schools. We're trying to balance the management. Yeah, that was just based on this.
And Todd, we need to give you the best estimate so that you can, I mean, you've spoke to that once before, right? So you need this,
If you're going to redo the budget after tonight, I need you to schedule a special meeting before the adoption night. Because on adoption night, I have to prepare an ordinance for you that's done. That ordinance is printed ahead of time, okay? And if you change things on adoption night, you're gonna have to recess for a couple hours for me to do work for you, to produce you another invoice. So if you're gonna,
That's what tonight is for.
Yes, if you think you're gonna review the budget again, go ahead and schedule a special meeting. Otherwise, I won't be able to produce an ordinance for you.
The coroner said that was fine.
Okay. So,
We need to make
So-
these decisions.
of all the questions you had, I think all of them were okay except for the sheriff right now, right?
Okay, he's gonna look at that
Well-
more closely.
So here's my thoughts. I'm just under 400,000 over budget. We changed the levy, that gave us 800,000, right? So I've got a little bit of wiggle room in there. If we have to, make some adjustments in a couple of these lines, I don't know if we can go full amount, but we can at least maybe consider on these lines here.
Anybody have a suggestion?
I just have some comments. This is my first budget as well for you, Dr. Green and Jonathan. Those of you who have been here, I'm sure I'm not gonna express anything new as far as the frustration that comes in this whole process. I feel like we've been put in an impossible situation here, with the amount of expenses, the contract, interest that we don't have available to us, bridge rate being increased,
That's what you allow.
27th pay, and then, you know, we're told we don't have enough money to fund all these expenses, but then we see our rainy day fund growing. And so it's just, I just have such a hard time, and I would, you know, we ask departments to reduce their budgets, but we want a true budget. So do we want them to reduce their budgets only to come back and ask for new money next year? And so that's part of my frustration. I'm sure I'm not saying anything that you all don't feel. And I so appreciate you, Jody, and all the time you took in trying to do this and making it all work. So what I would like to see is that we could pass a true budget and not allow any new money requests until September of next year. So we pass an accurate budget as possible, because I don't see how it's any
It's not
different
even
for us to
realistic.
pass a budget now just to fit the numbers, only to next year know we're gonna appropriate new money. Like, what's the difference? Why don't we just go ahead and appropriate now in the budget, an accurate budget? I asked Todd earlier, I think we've already this year appropriated over $700 million in new appropriations this year from the general fund. That's what I meant. What'd I say? Oh, sorry. No. Strike that. Thank you.
It's okay, I've been screwing numbers
Yeah.
all night, so.
And I would like to see the officers get a competitive rate, a competitive salary with the surrounding counties. I know we're in a tight spot, and I know that this contract is really hard to fund. I don't know if we can find somewhere to meet in the middle with that, but I feel like if we don't do a salary increase, we're just gonna constantly be behind. How are we ever gonna catch up with the surrounding
Right?
county salaries? And the same thing with the cost of living increases for county employees. Say, you know, instead of doing a one-time payout, we need to make that their salary so that we can be building on that. And these are just my thoughts. I just feel like it'd be better to pass a budget that actually represents projected expenses for 2026 instead of arbitrarily cutting lines only to approve new money requests later. So there's my soapbox for what it's worth, but those are my thoughts.
So what's the solution then to,
Well, what's the difference in appropriating a budget now to fit the numbers that we have versus, and then appropriating new funds next year, if we just go ahead and include that in our budget for this year?
I agree with you to a degree, and as much as I want to be able to give raises, I wanted to give raises last year. Until we reduce this budget and our workforce, we are in a pickle. We are at a tipping point that we cannot continue to give raises, and with the workforce we have, it costs money, the workforce we have.
Then get the commissioners under control.
There's no comments from the.
And part of that.
Yeah, you're doing real well with that.
Our employees, the number of employees we have affects every budget. And until department head, and another thing is, I really hate it when departments say, oh, well, my contract went up and I have to have this money for this contract now, fund it. Well, that's great to say fund it, but at the end of the day, as department heads, we're gonna have to start taking a hard look at those contracts and say, is there a cheaper way to do business tomorrow? And it's everybody's responsibility. It is not just this council's responsibility. You know, we are in a position where we have X amount of dollars and we have to decide how to appropriate it. But we don't control your spending for the most part. I mean, you tell us what you need and we try to work with that, we try to work there. But at the end of the day, we're at a sticking point, people. And knowing what's coming down the pipeline, at the end of the day, we will not be able to fund the budget if we continue to give raises. And I want to be able to give raises, and the only way to do that is to reduce our workforce. To figure out a way, whether it's innovation or something that we need to do as a one-time fee, that we can do that to make things work better. But this is on all department heads' responsibility. We're just working
It's
with
their
what we've got.
responsibility. Right?
And so until some things change, that's where we're at.
Giving out
And
$1 million.
I do think it probably makes sense, you kind of raised this earlier, Christie, and I think putting a hiring freeze on and just simply, if there's someone who leaves, that position doesn't get filled unless it's approved by the personnel board.
Oh, they'll approve it.
Recommended to the,
They'll approve it.
recommended.
I've watched this.
That's one way to deal with evaluating every position in every department in terms of the needs. And that creates for us then an opportunity to modify workforce. If our workforce were modified, we would be in a significantly different position to be able to attend to the salary.
See all these officers who are still
Part of the
waiting.
challenge is,
Look at
let's
them.
take a rocket scientist can figure out if you've got 25 people you're paying a certain fee or a certain salary, and you have 20 people that you're paying, you can pay the 20 people significantly more than you're having to spread it across 25. And how that math works out for departments, that may or may not be feasible. For small departments that have just a relatively few people, that's going to be a different kind of thing. Larger departments, but and I again, I just want to remind the council, like this budget, which we're working hard to try to make work, doesn't even include the additional costs that are likely to occur in the years to come with regard to the budget, to the new jail. So, like none of that is included here, and so I think we want to try to be as realistic as possible, but at some level, I do think the department heads have to reconcile that here's your pot of money, you have to manage
No,
it this
the
year.
commissioners.
And you have to figure out how to manage it. And that's, I don't pretend to think that's easy, but the reality is that that's where we are, there's a limited resource. So, to do the raise you're describing would be adding an additional, what did we decide it was? 620 plus 800,000 to the budget. And then that would be in the following year's budget, built in with as a starting point. And, we're already trying to make it 500,000. So, I mean, and the rainy day fund is a blessing, I think. I'm thankful for the foresight, as you guys described earlier, right? The foresight of our financial managers to be able to put us in a place where we actually can access resources to give promises. But that rainy day fund, if put into a salary mix, it'll just shoot through it within a few years, and then it's gone. And then
We got $13 million in the general fund.
We're in trouble now. That's just not. That's just.
You
poor
just
fiscal,
wait.
In my mind. I back to your question with regard to the realistic numbers there, Christie. I mean, you had a couple of those numbers on the sheriff's budget that you know, I think in terms of other supplies, can we add some money that, if we add 15,000 to the 90,000, that accommodates about what was spent 2024. I don't have, that is the 24,000 one. That's the third. And
So
we,
it's at 10,919 right now, and you wanna put it to what?
it's at 90,000.
Well, not on the wrong line. Oh,
It's
other supplies.
Other
sorry.
supplies, 90,000. If we added 15,000 to that,
105.
that would be 105. And if we add, I'm going back to what was expended, 2024. Communication transport, if we add 15 there, that's 30,000 on those two lines. Those were the two, was there another line that you, those were the two lines that struck me that you felt like were the least realistic?
Operating supplies was the other one, two lines up.
What was it?
Operating supplies, 4 lines up.
Yeah. Operating supplies was, we reduced it by 16%. But the other one that was a really big reduction was machinery and equipment. We reduced it by 52%. And extradition, we reduced by 32%. From requested, not from previous year's budget. I'm talking about from what was requested to what we advertised.
I'd say on the operating supplies, it's very similar to what's been spent in the past. And that request was for the whole package with like Exxon and Block, is that right?
Right, but
And we went with
we had to add
The
this.
middle
was probably-
package.
Yeah, right, this is, because we
Oh,
have
is that the
body
one you
cameras,
already
the body
adjusted?
cameras and.
I showed that block was at
Oh,
other
no.
services and charges.
Yeah, other
and that's
services
the
and
one that
charges.
this year came back and said we could put at 210.
Yes, we went
That
from
was
228, 238 down to 210, whatever it was.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so extradition, the request, if we add, if we make that 40,000, with the request, that's consistent with what was expended in, 2024 and was requested.
Alright, so tell me what the changes are, that you think we should make. I'll put it in and I'll tell you.
Actually, I'm just asking Christie. She raised that issue.
I just highlighted those because it was such a drastic reduction from what was
The
requested.
machinery line, that's our vehicles, that's where I'm sure that was a reduction, because that's where we buy our cars out of.
And we had hoped that maybe we could pay for that out of another fund. Sorry.
No, I think, I fully agree with your point though, Christie, and that is
He
that
agrees, but he does
when we
not.
set a budget, one of the things from my perspective is when January 1st rolls around, there aren't any requests for new money at all, till at least September. And if there is, it better be an emergency, you better be able to justify it.
Well, that's not hard. They do it all the time.
Because we need to be able to bond.
Every time they come in here, it's an emergency.
And I think, but that also requires us to be realistic as possible. And so, that's why I would make,
So I upped the extradition to 40, and what were your other suggestions?
I would up the extradition to 40 based, on that, I would up the communication transport to 47. And up the other supplies to 105.
Well, they'll save on salaries.
Okay, so that puts us $439,312 over budget, which, that's not taking into consideration, that overage right there. It's not taking into consideration the new number that we calculated with the 82%. I don't have that number in mind. I have the old number, this one.
we are understaffed.
Okay, so make sure you.
Anybody else have any other thoughts about any lines, principles?
How much of this involves the rainy day fund to fund any of this?
The rainy day fund request, you had a number.
Yes, it's on the back side of that sheet, Rob. So, before we move on, though, are we changing these totals in here right now? Because I don't think, Kara, did you change them? Oh, you did. Oh, what do you have for your total for the sheriff? 4,828,293. Okay.
Will you entertain a question? Will you entertain a question?
Sure.
What's the department's responsibilities for the 27th pay period?
We took
We're
care of that.
covering.
So we don't have to.
We're covering.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions related to the budget? Anybody other comments? Anything you want to change from what we have? Well, we have Jody's put this on the table, we've made some modifications.
We did get 400,000 to dispatch.
We took it away. And
This
I've already
last year.
talked to Jenny. This year, it's there for this year for her to take. If it's allowed, I mean, it's an expense that she's requested.
Well, there's your
and
400,000.
denied last year, she
Right.
denied it.
There you go.
So, I don't know.
There's your 400,000.
That's been paid this year. The 399,000 was paid to central dispatch.
So the county,
Above what we normally pay?
Yes,
yes.
Okay.
she wasn't gonna make it through without the other entities' payments.
So there would be a small chance, and I don't know, and I'm not asking for an open can of worms at all, I'm just stating something that could happen. If the delinquent payments are made from 2 or 3 other municipalities, one in particular, if they would pay in arrears, that would be a total of 360,000 times 2. That would be money that's very significant. Yes, very significant. So the county basically threw in 400,000 they weren't counting on because of bills that
No.
were paid. So that's gonna help.
But I took that out of the public safety budget for next year. Okay, it's not in there. But with the numbers that I have in there, based upon what Todd and I talked about today, there is an additional 368,000, almost a 369,000 if we needed to do something for public, for a center, if that became necessary. But I also think that I need to have to talk with Jenny or somebody does, because I'm sure she had raises increases in there that's gonna have to be stayed this year. Like everybody else.
Okay. Well, you need to talk about the miscellaneous funds.
Yeah, we're gonna get there in just a moment.
Okay, can we when we're done with this conversation, can we do a quick recess?
Yes.
And then start on that? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments about where we are right now with regard to the general fund budget?
Would you entertain discussion about the merit contract?
Well, not at this point.
Oh, look at that. They're going to turn down the sheriffs.
uh,
He's going to dismiss the
do you have
sheriffs.
any other questions?
Look at
or
that.
comments regarding this?
Look at that.
General fund?
Yeah. Okay, rainy day.
Unbelievable.
You have a
Just turn down the sheriffs.